Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, today is my turn to present my country. So, the official name is Plurinational State of Bolivia, but commonly we use just Bolivia. Okay, firstly, I want to show the location. We have all the American continent, and Bolivia is in South America. Just in the center. So Bolivia has 9 main countries, or cities, sorry, 9 cities, and my city is just in the middle, Cochabamba. The characteristics in Bolivia for the regions are here in this zone we have the Andean region, in the middle we have the sub-Andean region, and this big one is the Llanos, like the Llanos is just around here, and the tropic. So we have these 3 characteristics, so that give us diversity. In the Andean regional zone, it covers 30% of the Bolivian territory and is comprised by the Altiplano and the Andes mountains, with an average height of 3,800 meters above the level sea. The climate is cold, mainly, and here we have some of the highest peaks in all America, such the Nevado Sajama, that it has 6,542 meters above the sea, and the Illimani with 6,462 meters above the level of the sea. In this zone, well, we can see like the mountains with the snow, the lakes that are very high. One of the like it's a symbol in the Andes, for all the Andes, is the condor, and it is in all the Andean zone, like it covers from Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. Because of the characteristics, we can grow here quinoa, and this is like a normal characteristic, like to produce in the mountains. And Bolivia is the center of the region of potato, and we have more than 1,550 species of potatoes. In the sub-Andean region, it covers around the 13% of the territory, and it includes the valleys and the yungas. It's characterized by its temperature that goes from warm to it's not that warm and not that cold neither. So here we have in this zone, like this is an important beer. It's the only American beer, and in the same way, like it's shared between all this zone, Peru, Ecuador, and Bolivia. And in the north part of Argentina is the Jucumari. We have these rabbits, like they are like altiplanian rabbits. For the characteristics of this region, we can grow like different kind of crops, like vegetables, fruits, even like tropical. The tropical fruits are on the other side. Wheat. We have Bolivia is center of domestication of maize too. We are not a center of origin, but we are a center of domestication of maize. And I want to, we eat a lot of chilies too. So because of a lot of studies, it's found that this chili is called ulupica. Is the, let's say, like the mother of all the chilies, like because the studies has shown that from DNA. Studies. So this is the mother of all the chilies. The third region is the Llanos and the Amazon. And this is a land of plains and low plateaus covered by extensive jungles, rich in flora and fauna. The Amazon region is one of the largest continuous forest ecosystems in the world, home to numerous ecosystems and native cultures. It is considered one of the most pristine and well-preserved areas in South America. It constitutes around the 50% of the national territory. So here we have like all the Amazon. We share the Amazon too with Brazil and part of the Peru. We have this is like a dolphin living in sweet waters, like in the river, in the Amazon River. We grow a lot of cacao, coffee, and this is the castaña, walnuts, I think. And the coffee and the cacao has really good characteristics, but I think it's not that well, it's not famous because it's like mainly grown by small farmers and some big organizations. Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of Bolivia. The history of Bolivia is very attached to the whole history in South America because of the beginning, before the colony. We used to share a big territory that is called Tahuantinsuyo. It was the Inca Empire, so it was shared between Ecuador, Peru, the north of Chile, and Argentina, and part of Bolivia. The main part, the capital was in this zone, is mainly in Bolivia, but we have a lake that is the Lake Copacabana Lake, is shared between Peru and Bolivia. Bolivia was colonized by Spain in 1,585 years. So they exploited mainly the silver. The history says that after they arrived in Central America, so they heard like Colon saw this is in his diaries, and he said like he saw mainly like poor people because they weren't wearing clothes, but they were wearing like gold in the ears. So they asked where this gold comes from. And the people said, like in the case, like in the south, there is a big empire and a rich empire. So they start the expeditions, and they get in between Paraguay and Argentina. And once there, they started coming to Bolivia, in the territory that now is known as Bolivia and Peru. Historians of Latin American independence catalog the popular uprising against the Spanish crown in 1809 as the first libertarian shout of America, and the independence war took place from this year to 1825. This is the bandera, flag in Bolivia, with the red color, yellow, and green, and it's in the escudo, sorry. And the red symbolizes that all the blood the people has lost during the battles, during the independence. The yellow color is because of our mineral resources, and the green one because of all the natural resources. Like we have the same colors as Ghana. Okay, about the culture. Bolivia culture is very diverse and rich in traditions and customs that have developed over centuries of history. The indigenous peoples such as the Aymaras, Quechuas, and Guarayas have maintained their traditions and worldviews despite the influence of Western culture. Music and dance is very important too, and there are different styles of folk music and dance in each region of the country. Among the most popular dances, we have the Diablada, Morenada, Caporales that are typically performed during festivals and carnivals. Why is called a plurinational state? So the population in Bolivia consists of three main groups: the indigenous, mestizos, that is a mix between indigenous people and European European descent, and people of European, mainly Spain. Like here is called like white, I don't know why. And so the big proportion is with from mestizo people. Then the indigenous is around the 20%. So in Bolivia we have 36 ethnicities that give us our diversity, and because of the different zones, regions I showed you before. So here I want to show two important groups, well, not groups, but two important people. We have the Bolivian Chola and Afro-Bolivian. The Bolivia Chola is a term used to refer a woman of indigenous descent in Bolivia who wears traditional clothing. At the beginning, this word was not like it doesn't have a good use, but now, in these times, this term has been reclaimed by the indigenous women in Bolivia as a source of pride and identity. So the characteristic is like the long skirt and the hats. And this can change depending on the regions. So this is the traditional in my area, in my zone, Cochabamba. So can be like a little bit shorter, but here you see like the longer skirt because this place like is cold. And the Bolivian Chola, like now, as I told you, is like now is important for the identity of the women in Bolivia. So even you could see these clothes in international runways. And yeah, the cholitas are very strong women, and I want to show you this. Now these women like are traveling around the world with their sharing hair.
Yo estaba como estuviera en el cielo y cuando los nubes estaban abajo y los nubes parecía que estaban saltando como volcán, bien alegre. Yo orgullosa por subir el imán.
Yo en preparación siempre ya me he preparado, como ya iba viajando con los turistas, pero siempre se necesita mucho esfuerzo y preparación física más que todo. Claro, es un poco difícil, pero no imposible.
Okay, these cholitas are really amazing because they are like around the 50 years and they can climb all these mountains. They before they used to just cook for the tourists, and just the husbands used to go to the mountain with them. But they show that they can do it too. So yeah, they are proud for us. There is even a documentary of them. It's called Cholitas. Okay, then about the Afro-Bolivians. So the Afro-Bolivians are Bolivians of African descent who are descended from the African slave brought to Bolivia during the Spanish colonial period. While Afro-Bolivians make up a small percentage of the population, is estimated at around 2,000 of the population, and they have made important contributions to the cultural and social characteristics in Bolivia. They live now in a specific area because at the beginning the Spanish people bring for working in the mines for extracting, but this place is too hot and too cold, so yeah, this is a very sad history. So now they are, the zone where they live is a tropical zone. There is even a movie, it's called The Black King. It's the last king in America because the history says that the slavers were working and they saw like a person who had tattoos, like something like royal tattoos. So they recognized him and they said like, oh, it's our king. And when the Spanish people took them, okay, they just take a lot of people without caring about who was them. So the slavers work for him because he was his king. So he is now the third son of him. And I want to show you a little bit of his music. You see the women here share the same characteristics of the costumes of the traditional clothes in Bolivia, like the long skirts and the hats. Everybody loves this music because it's like, it just moves your body, even if you don't know how to dance. Okay. And Bolivia was named as the
Bolivia
best.
es el mejor destino cultural del mundo. He recorrido lugares por donde se han fundado las grandes culturas prehispánicas. La magia se percibe en cada esquina de sus enormes ciudades. He visto a colosos místicos que resguardan y transmiten riqueza y sabiduría. He sentido el inmenso mar de sal que nos abre paso a impresionantes desiertos y lagunas de colores. Me he dejado seducir con la exquisita gastronomía. La increíble naturaleza me llevó por sensaciones únicas en la vida. La belleza de sus paisajes volcánicos, los valles rodeados de huellas del pasado, me enamoraron. Quedé deslumbrado con singulares danzas y representaciones del arte ancestral. Encontré antiguos tesoros de historias increíbles. Bolivia, el mejor destino cultural del mundo.
Okay, about the cuisine, the same as the culture is very diverse because of the regions we have. So it's also very important in the culture and with a variety of dishes that reflect the influence of indigenous Spanish and other South American cuisines. Mainly it's based in meat that is mainly from beef cows. And some of them are made with pork, but we always have potatoes in all the foods, like potatoes and vegetables and salad. So these are different kinds of food in Bolivia. Oh, this is interesting. This is the peanut soup. It's very delicious. Oh. Yesterday I was searching the pictures and I was hungry. This is El Pancho. Like my city Cochabamba is known as the capital, like food capital in Bolivia because we have like a very, like most of these dishes are from there. I will show you just a little bit of this.
Cochabamba es la capital gastronómica de Bolivia. Por el agradable clima que posee, es acreedora de una gran herencia gastronómica. Los platos tradicionales más representativos de la gastronomía típica cochabambina son el pique macho, el silpancho, el chicharrón de cerdo, entre otros, sin dejar de mencionar el helado de canela y su bebida tradicional, la chicha. Al contar con una fértil producción en sus 3 pisos ecológicos, obtuvo gran diversidad y mezcla de ingredientes en sus comidas populares, que con el tiempo han adquirido relevancia nacional e internacional. Cochabamba ofrece durante todo el año ferias y festividades gastronómicas, celebraciones que expresan el folclore y el culto a los alimentos que ofrece la tierra. La cocina cochabambina se caracteriza por tener platos con diferentes grados de picor. Uno de los ingredientes infaltables en la mesa es la llajua, elaborada de forma rústica en un batán de piedra. El pique macho, plato tradicional que surge en la década de los 70s, elaborado con carne picada en cuadros, papas fritas, chorizos, tomates y locotos. Antiguamente era preparado con mucho picante, pero por la popularidad que adquirió este plato, fue variando para ser degustado por todas las personas. El chicharrón de cerdo, preparado en un gran perol de cobre. El resultado es una carne crocante y deliciosa, acompañada con mote de maíz blanco y llajua de locoto. Uno de los platos más tradicionales, el silpancho, preparado con carne apanada muy delgada, acompañado con arroz blanco, papas en rodaja, ensalada y huevo frito. Del silpancho deriva el trancapecho, que junto a otros platos típicos han conquistado las ferias internacionales de comidas en el mundo. Dentro de la repostería tradicional se encuentran los rosquetes, las empanadas y el pan de arani, famoso por su tamaño y sabor. Estos panes gozan de mucha demanda regional y nacional. Entre los postres de antaño está el helado de canela, elaborado de forma artesanal. Son batidos constantemente para mantener su congelación. Se puede degustar solo o acompañado de empanada de queso. De sus bebidas, la más antigua y tradicional es la chicha. A base de maíz fermentado, se la encuentra de varios sabores de acuerdo a cada región de la ciudad. Su origen data de la época incaica y es considerada el elixir de los incas y del Valle de Cochabamba. Cochabamba, ciudad que te ofrece un amplio menú de sabores y antojos, ambientes y regiones que conservan la unión entre cultura y cocina. Restaurantes y bares están presentes para satisfacer los más exigentes paladares. Diversos sabores, colores, aromas y texturas que expresan la sabiduría y el arte de sus pueblos. Sin duda, Cochabamba te ofrece la mejor guía gastronómica del país. Cochabamba, capital gastronómica de Bolivia.
Okay. And the main places, like the famous places in Bolivia, the capital, I don't know what happened with what slide, but the capital of Bolivia is Chuquisaca. Is all the government, but is more known, but La Paz is more known. So because the government is here, so this is an interesting country for most of people, for tourists, because it's like how they can build their houses in the mountains. And another interesting thing of this city is because there is a lot of mountains there, we use this cable car as not just for tourist objectives, but it's like the local dairy transport there. Yes, and there are a lot of lines. This is the capital. Sucre Chuquisaca is called the White City, and this city maintains like the European characteristic, like in the constructions. And this is Cochabamba, my city. And in La Paz, there are these Tiahuanacu place, like where there is still in some buildings. And of course, the Uyuni Salt Flats. One last video. This is Uyuni.
Bolivia te espera.
Okay, thank you, 감사합니다. Yes, I forgot the hat, but this is like the traditional clothes for cholitas in my city. So yeah, you have the skirt, the blouse, and the hat. That the hat is made from, I don't know the translation, but it's like this material for covering the walls, white one. So yes, it's kind of heavy. And yeah, thank you.